Howdy everyone, this is Konstantin. Welcome to the south of Russia, to the city of Rostov on Don. Welcome to the second day of what is here called special military operation in Ukraine for denazification and denationalization. Okay. Whew. How do I say that right? My name is Konstantin, again, and this is Inside Russia. And even the name of my channel kind of sounds sinister right now. Who would have thought? Inside Russia, inside some place that starts special military operations. Anyway, welcome to the stream. This is a daily stream. I used to stream once or a couple times per week, but that time has passed. This is a special time and it requires special measures. I do streaming every day. It's very tiring because I film during the day as well. But hey, and on top of that I work for a living. But hey, this situations like this don't happen often. Thank you, my wonderful moderators, Lorna and Mommy. I see Lorna here, and perhaps Mommy too. I haven't seen you yet. Thank you. That's going to be another kind of a sad stream because there's not much. Well, there are some good news today, and I definitely will share with you, but there isn't much good in general, and also gonna share with you. Anyway. Let me see who is here. My streams used to be on a smallish side, 50 people, 60, 70, 80, and now we go as high as 450. Thank you for joining and watching me. Unfortunately, it's not really a good reason. I wish it was more fun, like walking in Rostov, showing you how beautiful the city is, embankment, restaurants, sites, and things like that. But unfortunately, it's we have what we have. My usual tea, and I am asking you to be very careful and not to leave provocative messages, because these days I am watched by three entities. First is YouTube, of course, not the worst one, far from it. Second is American special services, and the third is, of course, KGB. I think they're monitoring what citizens have to say about this thing. They're looking for traitors, okay? Well, I'm not a traitor. I really love my country. I was born and raised in Russia. At age of 20, I moved to the United States, where I spent 9 years, and then I made a conscious decision to return to my country, back to Russia. That was 2004, I believe, long time ago, and I've lived here ever since in Russia. Couple years in Uzbekistan, long business trip, about a year in Ukraine, between Odessa, Zaporozhye, Kharkov, and Kiev, and mostly in Russia. So I love my country very much. I am not a traitor, and my problem is that I ask questions. Okay, when I hear something from anyone, first thing, if I do disagree, I start asking questions myself. I don't find answers inside. I ask questions the person who told me something, And right now I'm asking many questions. Many questions. And I suppose me asking questions not gonna go well with some people here in Russia these days. But what can you do? I'm not making statements. I'm merely asking questions. Tea is excellent. This tea was brought from Ceylon by a friend of mine. He was vacationing at Ceylon. He got me a present. It's I don't know if you can see that. Its color is just pure gold, you know. So good. Anyway, shall we begin? First of all, there are so many people these days in the chats, and there are so many comments. Just right off the bat, I'm telling you that if you don't type your questions or comments in caps that are directed to me, I don't even have a chance of looking at them because there are so many. Only in caps. And if I miss one or two comments of yours, please forgive me in advance because there are so many things, and you know, I can't cover them all. So if you really want me to answer a question, just in caps, perhaps twice or three times, so I notice. Okay, and put red exclamation marks or something like that. Okay, Ronnie Braun, Robert Bates, Mr. Sir, Dirk, Healthy Disrespect for Authority, Lorna, Mammy, of course, thank you so much. By the way, have I told you that I have two most wonderful, beautiful moderators in the world? And you all are absolutely awesome and you rock. Deep South Bama with Mr. Tom. Hi, Mr. Tom. Michelle Saylor, North Shore Preparedness. Sean, welcome. Great to see you. Mr. Pinball himself. The royalty is here. Pinball, welcome. Thank you very much. Diane Lullibert. RTVL, Richard Fox, Suzanne S. ESK, BMF, Ruben West, Rosalind Asturian, Angie Camp, MB Do the Things Prepping, Susan Gitz, Todd Misler, Fee, Darlene Himmelwright, James A, Jason Rivera, Mary Jordan, Yvonne Cochran, Todd Metzen. Listen, thank you for a lot of usual suspects. Thank you so much for coming back, and I hope that you will get some valuable information today. Anyway, there are so many new faces as well. That's pretty cool. Let me start. Let me give you a short summary of the day 2. First of all, where do I start? First of all, I would like to repeat that I personally am against this operation. I am against Russian troops crossing the border to Ukraine. I am against violence and against war. I did not agree when I voted last September for the officials. No one had notified us of the beginning of this operation. No one had us a chance to show our opinion openly. Probably wouldn't listen anyway, but we didn't even have a chance. We literally woke up to the news that Russians were bombing Ukraine. This is shame. I still feel shameful. I think this shame is going to stay with me for a long time because I live in a country who is showing the aggression towards another country. Russia has many good and bad things. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And this is beyond ugly. So, I don't feel any better from yesterday. But anyway, this is the day 2 of the operation. And I watched, first of all, I am going to give you the news, the official, that I received from the official Russian government sources, such as Ministry of Defense, press conference, Russian Ministry of Foreign Affairs news and things like that. I have been warned, as all Russians, that if I use any other sources, then they can be considered as fakes and spreading disinformation. And that is a criminal offense punishable by a large amount of money and up to, I believe, 2 years in prison. They deliberately warned us. Rospotrebnadzor is the body of the government that oversees how well laws are abided, including the laws about, this misinformation and fake news and stuff like that. And Russian State Prosecutor Office, Prosecutor General Office also warned us that, hey, don't destroy your lives, because if you get criminal offense, felony, you're convicted, you're gonna spend some time in prison, and you come out, you're gonna be labeled as a person who has done time, So I'm just giving you information from the official channels. But also, I'm gonna give you some rumors. And I don't know whether they're true or not. I just heard rumors, okay? And they're not official news, and they're most likely fakes. But I just heard them, let's put it this way. From different sources and, from different media outlets and stuff like that. Not from the official government outlets. Anyway, where shall we start? This is day 2. The operation continues. Information that is coming out of Russian Ministry of Defense, and that information, we are victorious. We are marching towards major Ukrainian cities, liberating them. I have heard this word liberating a few times. Liberating. Okay. I want to ask a question. Who are we liberating from who? As far as I understand, we coming into Ukraine, okay, and we somehow liberate some Ukrainians from other Ukrainians. I would like to hear the answer. Who are the targets of this liberation? So far, I have heard of, first, neo-Nazis. I'm not a big fan of neo-Nazis, or old Nazis, or any Nazis for that matter. But I just want to understand and hear explanation of who our neo-Nazis are. The personalities. And who decided that these people are neo-Nazis. From the information that I possess, I can only judge, and I agree with that, okay, that neo-Nazis, there are quite a few neo-Nazis in Ukrainian, partially private, partially government, how do you say that, a part of army called the Azov Battalion. They have swastika in their flag, and they openly, propagated in the past the, Nazism. And these are the only people that I agree, some of them are Nazis. But the other people who in Ukraine who are Nazis, I want to know. Another question I would like to hear answer is, who are Ukrainian nationalists? And who decides? The more important question is, who decides if a person is a Nazi or nationalist? Okay, so 2 questions. What the nationalists are and who decides. Today I heard official information from the Russian government that one of the airports, military airports near Kiev, was liberated. That was in the news. 200 helicopters brought troops, I guess, and there was skirmish, and 200 nationalists were killed. 200 Ukrainian soldiers were killed. That's what I saw in the news, in official news. But my question, again, I have a question. My question is, how our intelligence knew that people defending the airport were nationalists. I might be wrong, of course, don't quote me on that, but from what I understand in general, that is a widely accepted legal procedure that if for example, Nazis are caught, okay, they need to be put to trial, and it needs to be an investigation done, and there needs to be a court, perhaps a jury, perhaps, I don't know, that should be prosecution, there should be defense, and then there should be a verdict. And then after the verdict, a person should be punished. This is what happened in Germany in 1945, 1946. Of course, you all have heard of the Nuremberg trial. Nuremberg? I'm not sure how to say it in Germany, but Russians, Americans, British, they dedicated legal teams, they caught Nazis, and they put them to trial. Okay, and some Nazis were sentenced to some prison time, and some were hanged. Okay, and I totally agree with that. I think that's how things should be done. But again, I don't disagree with the Russian government. Read between the lines, please, guys. But I just want to know who decides that a person in Ukraine is a nationalist, and what is nationalist. So far, I haven't had the answers. Okay, Mr. Putin himself addressed Ukrainian military, saying, hey, guys, please, soldiers, you are not the aim. We are only aiming nationalists. So please give up arms and, give up fighting. But I'm thinking to myself, and this is my personal opinion, I might be wrong, I might disagree and stuff like that, but weren't those people sworn under Ukrainian constitution to defend Ukraine when they were drafted into the military? I know that perhaps they weren't. I don't know much about this part of Ukraine. Perhaps the soldiers don't go through this procedure. But in Russia, when you're drafted, after some time, a few days, there's a huge procedure, and you are sworn. You give your promise, and it's called присяга. Okay, let me see how it is in English. What's this word? Hang on. Pledge, perhaps. Oath. Okay, good. In military, it's called like military oath. So every Russian soldier becomes a soldier when he actually pledges the oath. He promises to defend the country, follow orders and stuff like that. That's a legal binding contract between the government and a person, a private person. Once you publicly, officially, and it's a big deal, usually young soldiers' parents come, and this is it's a very, very big celebration. So if you promise on the oath, then you become the soldier. How Mr. Putin imagines this situation where Ukrainian soldiers just give up their arms and give in, stop fighting? Are they breaking their promise to serve the country and defend the country? That's a question. Okay. Okay. Now, around 9 p.m., about an hour ago, Russian military spokesperson came out, and major news channel called The First basically shared with us the results of the second day of this operation, military operation, special military operations in Ukraine, that in outside of Russia, in the rest of the world, is called war, but we don't call it this way. He basically gave our information what's going on. And you know what? According to Russian official information, we are victorious. Russian troops are marching. Ukrainian civilians welcoming. Russia brings order. There are so many. Don't quote me on that. It's an approximate number. 83 pieces of infrastructure, military infrastructure, destroyed. Something like 5 helicopters and a few planes. I don't really know if they said anything about casualties. Probably not. Probably not very popular thing to say that so many people were killed, right? Well, at least they were killed. At least there's some people were killed because someone had to pilot the airplanes and helicopters, right? So you can't shoot down a plane or a helicopter and have the pilot come out alive. That's not a car accident. So at least some people were killed. But what do I know? That's just thinking, you know. Then I have another question. Just a question out there. Well, if we destroyed 83 facilities, military facilities, so many planes, so many helicopters, so many missiles, mobile missiles, launchers. So we're destroying, and by the way, we captured some soldiers. Some soldiers actually gave up arms, and then I saw about 20 all in all. They were on cameras. And the Russians were saying, dear friends, you're in safety now, you're gonna go home, you just signed paper that you're not gonna go back to the military. No one's gonna take them back to the military, they're traitors in the country, you know. I think they will be prosecuted if found. So anyway, if we destroy so many military infrastructure facilities, so many planes, so many helicopters, there should have been dogfights, like air fights, plane fights, if we were destroyed, if we destroyed, military planes. Then, isn't it a war if we destroy these things? I mean, these people, the spokesperson of Ministry of Defense said it himself, like big time general. I don't know. Is it a war? Oh, perhaps it's still special operation. All right, I take it. No, that's the official news, and we get official news. Not much. Just at the end of the day, once. Perhaps they release pieces of information during the day. I just didn't see them. I'm not saying they don't do that. I didn't see them. Okay, not that I looked much for them. Now, there are rumors, and this is a disclaimer, the big disclaimer. I'm not saying it's truth, and I'm not saying that's, this is stuff I got from the official service, official channels of the Russian government, but there are rumors, and they should probably be disregarded, okay? I have heard from the internet fakes, total disinformation. But that disinformation is about skirmishes and gunfights in the city of Kharkov and in the city of Kiev, in the city of Sumy. In Odessa, there were fights at the Snake Island, and at this point it's not clear who the Snake Island belongs to, because there are rumors that it belonged to Russians, then Ukrainians took it back, fought the Russians back, pushed them back, and then Russians pushed back. There are rumors that so many people were killed there. Ukrainians are saying that people were killed. Russians are saying that people gave up and decided to give up arms. Okay, I don't know. Probably Russians are right, because, they're always right. The official government channels cannot lie. I mean, guys, how many times in the last months Russian officials of the highest level have told us there would be war, there would not be, Russia would never be, would be aggressor, read between the lines. How many times? It's on record. I have it on record here. Okay, so the Russian officials cannot lie, right? So, heavy fighting in Ukrainian cities. Russian troops advances. There are many short videos in different messengers and Telegram of Russian heavy armor moving, pushing towards Ukraine. Heavy fights. I've seen destroyed tanks. I don't know whose tanks belong to, whose tanks they are, Russians or Ukrainians. But I have seen, and I've seen some other pretty horrible stuff that I'm not gonna share with you here. Okay, just read between the lines. Think what most horrible thing that happens at war. That is the very short update of the day 2 of Russian special military operation for liberation of someone in Ukraine. Demilitarization and denazification of the country. There you go. Just a stupid question, right? What if Ukraine wants to be militarized? What if it wants to have weapons, different kinds of weapons, just to defend itself? Oh, in case someone wants to invade. Okay. Is it a right of Russia to demilitarize Ukraine? Perhaps Ukrainians, if they want to, of course, they can demilitarize themselves. And if they don't want to, I mean, we live in a free world, right? The countries can decide on what they want to do. I would hate if someone came in with tanks, planes, and demilitarized Russia. I really would hate that, okay? I don't want that to happen. This tea is so good. And this whole thing is pretty sad, my friends. So I just talked about the questions that I have, and I asked them. I hope that you find my questions reasonable. And please also don't forget that I cannot say a few things openly and straight, because I might get in trouble. Okay, who would have known? 10 years ago, guys, if somebody told me something like this would be happening, I would just laugh. I would not believe it. But. Okay. Any good news happened today? Yes. I received a donation, quite large donation, from anonymous user from North America, a religious person. And that donation was not to me, but to the charity foundation that I visited a couple days ago. And the person specifically asked me to keep him anonymous, then to give $200 to the refugees from Donbass and $400 to infants who live, we call it the house of the babies, Dom Malютki. Baby, when it's born, sometimes mother just gives the baby up, and they're left there in the hospital for some time. So the charity foundation, hires nurses full time, and nurses go into hospitals and just spend time with the babies, feed them, bathe them, spend time with them, talk to them, things like that, so they don't feel abandoned and betrayed by humans. So anyway, $400 for baby orphans and $200 for the refugees. Well, I notified the foundation, and they asked me to. They actually gave us the list. Natasha notified, really, because she's involved with that charity. They gave us a list. Basically, on that list was the baby formula, baby food, really, and diapers, because that's what they lacked. They're lacking right now. Went to a store, a large children's store. We bought everything and brought it to the house of the babies. And I filmed everything. So the movie is getting uploaded today. It was a very touching experience. And that was good. That was good news, you know. At least we did something good. Saw my mom today. She's very disturbed by this whole thing. I try not to discuss war with her and who's right, who's wrong, and just try enjoy spending time with her. That's about it. A lot of relatives came for another day of celebrating her birthday, but I just couldn't make it because I had to work, actually. And I want to go to the comments right now and read some of them. I don't want to make this stream a very long one. Okay, I will go over the comments. Look for the ones in caps. Please make this chat, keep this chat clean. Don't discuss certain topics. I think Lorna and Mommy, notified you of which topics to stay away from. So please follow the advice and recommendation and guidance of the moderators. And Lorna and Mommy, don't hesitate to zap the ones who actually break your rules. Michelle Saylor, this seems so unreal. I worry for the world. Me too. Central Florida. Okay, I'll start off. We starting off good here. Super chat. Thank you so much. Melody Angel, thank you for putting the time in for this. I've been watching you on YouTube via Roku for a long time back when it was Letters to King. Great, Melody. I think I remember you. I think you made a few comments. Thank you for the super chat. Much appreciated. Back it was when it was Letters to King, everything was so quiet and peaceful, and I had nice topics like how Russians make barbecue, or where do usual Russians live, or how do Russians celebrate Christmas. And now it's this. It's insane. I tell you something. All of a sudden, out of the blue, we have forgotten about COVID. It does not exist here in Russia anymore, okay? No one really cares of the slightest of the COVID, okay? Because when you hear, well, I don't hear anything, but when you know that there are bombers flying and bombing cities, facilities, military equipment, couple 100 miles from here, and the bombers of your country, and they fly in somewhere else, you forget about COVID, okay? It just disappeared. Mary Saint Ange, Konstantin, praying for your safety, thank you. I really, guys, all of you, I really appreciate your prayers and your good wishes. I'm not even gonna read them out loud because I'll just read the questions, because I have so many of them, and trust me, much appreciated, much needed. By the way, how is the sound? Because yesterday I turned up the sound only towards the end of stream. Is it? Hang on. Hang on. I'm trying to fix up my chat so it's easier for me to watch. That's it. And this is a new one. Never thought about COVID, right? For the few days we all forgotten about it. That's the best way to fight COVID. No, I'm just not gonna say that. It's a pretty bad way to fight COVID, but very effective one. Okay. Eastern Oregon, Bonnie Bethel, Cowboy Bebop. Thanks for sponsoring. Lorna, I realize Konstantin is using this word, but we must delete it in chat. Which one is that? The red flag? Just give me a hint, please. Someone, someone hid what Pinball had to say. Was it Lorna? Oh yeah, thank you so much. I got it. I didn't know that it's a, red flag word. Anyway, someone hit a word by like a sentence of Pinball. Lorna, you're in trouble now. Christina Walk, I just find it so sad. Oh, believe me, we find it so sad. But towards the end, I'm gonna tell you something, man. And I'm not gonna go in depth in this stream, but that's even, to me, it's even more shocking than actually Russians bombing Ukrainian cities, facilities, military facilities. But tomorrow is Saturday, and I'm tired, not sick, tired of doing streams, sitting, talking into a camera. I'm actually going to walk around center of Rostov, and I'm going to talk, and I'm gonna sit down and have something, perhaps at the embankment, and I'm gonna go in depth of one thing that really bothers me, has been bothering me for a couple days, and Russia is changing so fast, and some changes are forced upon us, but some changes are kind of growing inside of people, on their own. So, and that's, trust me, that's very disturbing. Dirk Misler, you pronounce Nuremberg so difficult. Nuremberg. In Russia, we say Nuremberg. Mary St. Ong, the UN Council is still meeting to decide next steps. You're about to watch those meetings. I will not watch, Mary. I know whatever they decide is going to be horrible for Russia, and to a good reason, I know what they're gonna decide is going to affect my life in a great bad deal, and I'm gonna learn it from the news. I have no desire, no interest to watch it. I'm watching Ukrainian bloggers going live from Ukraine and telling what's going on in Ukraine. That's what really interests me right now. What the heck is going on? Lorna is asking, anyone heard from Maria Z in Kiev? I am really, really worried about Maria. I emailed her, no answer. I know people still have email. From what I understand and from what I've heard, it's pretty quiet inside of Kiev. There are skirmishes on the outside. Again, that's rumors, okay? I've heard the rumors, and of course they're not true, but there are skirmishes outside of Kiev, gunfights here and there. But as far as I understand, regular civilians are not targets, and Russia is not targeting like regular people who don't put force against, the soldiers. Russia military really targets military facilities. But there's also always collateral damage. Just ask the Americans how many people, innocent civilians, were killed by mistakes, some error, a rocket instead of one building hits another building with civilians, or bad intel and the building that is held with the civilians, supposed to be a military facility, but it turns out to be a school, a hospital. How many times that happened with the American military? So many times, and it's inevitably will happen here in Ukraine. So I'm really worried about Maria Z, and for that matter, for my friends that are in Kiev, and for everyone, really. Robert Bates just read that two high-ranking Russian leaders have had their finances restricted by NATO. Oh, that's the news, official news. That's another news I'd like to share with you. Everyone in the Russian government who made decision or helped, supported the decision to invade, well, no, I'm sorry, to start the special military operation in Ukraine has been placed under sanctions by the United States. I think the USA and Canada will follow, and a lot of more countries will follow too. Personal sanctions, for example, most Russian senators, like 300 plus, all their finances outside of Russia are frozen, probably will be confiscated, and all their properties under lien right now, and they're banned from entering European countries. Well, I cannot really show my emotions about that. Just know, this is the news, official news, okay? Thank you. So that's not just two high-ranked Russian military officials. That's a lot of Russian officials. And that was the problem with the Russian government and the Russian thieves and the Russian government and the Russian politicians and the Russian... I'm not saying that politicians are thieves. I'm saying that people who stole from Russian budget, stole money. That was the problem. They were stealing here in Russia. They were transferring money to Europe, to the United States, to Canada, and they were living, their families were living there, spending there, their kids were going to schools there, in London, in New York, in Miami, so they were getting insanely rich of us here, transferring money there, and now that has stopped. Moreover, the money that they transferred there, they're gonna lose that money. And this is, it's kind of fair, don't you think? So a lot of Russians are happy about that. I will refrain from showing my emotions. It's the news. Susan S. As a U.S. soldier, I solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. And that's the way it's supposed to be done, and I'm just not saying about the U.S. Constitution. Any soldier, if that soldier making a conscious decision to serve his country or her country, needs to do the same. And he or she has to think twice before pledging the allegiance, because once you do it, there's no way back. You have to like listen to the orders, and you have to do what your superiors tell you to do. You have to defend your country. You cannot just give up your arms. Yeah, Lorna says, hold your comments, folks. Konstantin can only repeat official government statements. Well, Lorna, yes. I also give you rumors. Of course, they're fake, not true. But I've heard them, you know. What can you do? Vivian P. NATO is heading to Russian border. Big question mark. I don't know. I hope not. Because if we start war with NATO, then it's going to be big. And it might be the end of all of us. Looks like raspberry tea or hibiscus tea or similar. No, it's actually regular black tea. It's color red because that's regular tea is red. No additives, no flavors, you know, no tastes or anything like that. That's Ceylon tea. Ross Matthews, NATO at Russian border in Estonia. It has been since 1996. Okay, it has been there. Joanne Romano, Liberty, thanks for you doing for the world. We need this. Oi, Joanne, if you knew how difficult and how painful for me to do this, you would be amazed. It's hot, no matter, so it's warm outside and our house is still heated, you know. It's hot. Look, I'm wearing t-shirt. Otto von Bismarck, thank you for mentioning the Nuremberg, English Nuremberg German trial. It was a major step to bring at last some of the main criminals to the terrible regime to justice. You know, Otto, my desire right now, what I really, really want, is that all responsible for this huge mess, and don't get me wrong, I don't blame Russia on this start of this military operation. Russia, it takes many, more than one to tango, okay? Ukraine, some politicians there helped a lot Russia to do that. The United States started instigating this whole thing, okay? It also has helped Russia. But it wasn't the United States, it wasn't Ukraine at the end who actually invaded and started bombing. Okay, it was Russia. And this is why Russia is responsible. But the other side also helped quite a great deal. And my desire right now is that all responsible would be put to a major international trial, just like the Nuremberg trial, and justice will be done. That's what I really desire. I don't know how it's possible, but it would be awesome. Gary Moenk, sorry Konstantin, meant to say how are your children adjusting? Michael doesn't care, he doesn't understand the concept. My kids in the USA, well, imagine how my son is adjusting. He has a Russian flag in his bedroom. I gotta call him up tomorrow, I think. I will do that. I'll have some time. I haven't spoken to him in a few days. I think that he's gonna take that flag down. That's how, and I don't blame him. And you know, I will totally understand. Oля is busy with the university and work. She started first job. Dasha, she's very introverted. She has heard the news, but I don't know what she thinks. Probably very disturbed. Natasha is devastated, same as I am. That's how we're adjusting. We're not adjusting well. Big Sky Dreamer 26, I heard today that Ukraine never filed for an official border in the 90s, making it still a part of Russia officially. My friend, Where'd you hear that? I haven't heard anything like that. You know, for 30 years, Ukraine have been a sovereign country, and no one has said anything really about, oh, Ukraine officially doesn't have borders with Russia. You should listen to good media more often, you know? Stop listening to bogus. Ross Matthews, video of NATO tank convoy in Estonia at Russian border. Not too far from St. Petersburg. I don't think they're gonna move into Russia. Okay? But you know what? I didn't think that Russia would ever invade Ukraine. What purpose, you know? Brothers, Christians, same culture, same language. Look what's happened. So I don't know. I just take it day by day. I hope they will not invade, because that would be a probably nuclear war, and that's not good. Lorna, stop with the statistics and what you've heard. Well, the statistics were official and they were released from the Russian government, so they're safe. Please, cooler heads prevail, says Ross Matthews. Couldn't agree with you more, friend. Mary St. Ange, the USA has been sending more weapons to Ukraine. You know, Mary, at the end, I think that it's between the United States and Ukraine. Trading weapons, you know, sending aid, whatever. I believe that Russia should be worrying when Ukraine invades. If Ukraine invades, then, you know, I would be the first one who would take up arms and go defend my country. But I don't think that Ukraine received weapons from the United States with a purpose to invade. Of course, who am I to know? But this is just my opinion. Okay, disclaimer. And perhaps Ukraine would want to build up some arms to defend itself from possible wars or possible military operations, you know. So I don't think it's a crime. Michelle Saylor, many Americans are praying for both sides. Thank you so much. I believe there's more than meets the eye there, Konstantin. RTVL, I believe so too. We're not told much. I merely am very disturbed with the fact that we are killing Ukrainians. Soldiers or not, but they are Ukrainians, they are neighbors, they are people of the same culture, of the same language, the same values. They are Christians, same as us, and we are bombing their cities, military facilities or not. Our tanks are rolling on their soil, and this is what I am just incredibly sad about and upset about. But of course there's more than meets the eye, you know. But does that more have to cause the war? I don't think so. Juliet, what tea do you have today? This is a regular tea from Ceylon, the black Ceylon tea. It's a present from a friend of mine who brought this a little package of loose tea, not tea bags. Your tea is left in Moscow, but I'm going back there pretty soon, in a few days probably, and you know, I'm gonna be drinking that, but that's different, also very good. By the way, if you're recently joined, my name is Konstantin, and this is Inside Russia channel. I am here to give you information on how it is to be living in Russia. That's in general, and lately I've been giving information on how it is to be living among, how should I say that, military operation in Ukraine. You know, it's pretty sad. Okay. Leah, what kind of tea is that? I just answered that question. Ceylon tea. Mutant Reef, what's up with Sean Penn making a movie during the conflict? I don't know. Mike Amge, thank you for your stream, Konstantin. It's a blessing. Thank you so much. Prayers, thank you. Prayers are very much needed and very, very appreciated. Michelle Saylor, my daughter was in Lubbertsy orphanage. Well, Michelle, please tune in. I'm going to upload the movie. It's 1 hour to midnight, but I make a promise to you guys that I will stay up as long as I actually finish editing and upload this movie. It's not terribly long, about 12 minutes, probably around 12 minutes, but then you will see how Rostov orphanage looks like for little babies, you know. Once they grow up, I think age 3, they go to a different orphanage. Rebecca N65, hello from Indiana. Hi there. Healthy disrespect for authority. Does Russia have as many working nurses as they did 2 years ago? I don't see anything changed since 2 years ago. 2 years ago. So I take it that as many nurses working. Julie, do I need to send your secondary supply to Rostov home? No, please hang on, because we're gonna be out of this home in a few days. And your secondary supply, if you send it now, usually in normal times it would take probably from a month to 2 months to make it. And now it's been like, since this special military operation is going on, that's probably gonna take even longer. So we're gonna be in Moscow. So thank you. Let's talk about it separately. Yeah, it's a good question about soldiers in Chernobyl. Dirk Misler, do you have an idea what the Russian soldiers want in Chernobyl? Yes. But then again, this is not sarcasm or anything. I think that's actually a right decision for the Russian soldiers to be in Chernobyl. Well, Chernobyl is located, well, it's next to Belarus in Ukraine. It's being protected, safeguarded by Ukrainian military. So Russian military got into the Chernobyl right next to that, that radiation center, and actually did not fight Ukrainian military. They talked to them and they said, we're gonna be guarding Chernobyl along with you, because we feel that there are some forces that can use Chernobyl to basically blow it up, just a last resort, okay? And we'll be guarding it with you. And as far as I understand, it's been done. Russian tanks, Ukrainian tanks, they're all talking to each other, next to each other. At least they have that much common sense, okay? Mort Snerdley, has the incident on Snake Island been reported in the Russian media? Mort, it has been reported. How do I say that safely? Let's put it this way. I have heard official side. The Russians said that they have taken the Snake Island, and Ukrainian soldiers or Ukrainian customs personnel gave in, basically was moved to a safe place or something like that. But I have very close ties to Odessa, and I have friends in Odessa. Like I said, I've worked for the people that, coming out of Odessa, and my first job interview for the company I've worked for the past 20 years was in Odessa, okay? I spent so much time there. At couple summers, I even rented house there for a long time just because I was flying back and forth from Moscow to Odessa. So I know I get very accurate information. And the information, what I got from my friends, differs. But that's just rumors. The official Russian information is that the Snake Island is Russian and everything went fine. No problem, no casualties. Rumors have some different, but that's just rumors, different story. Okay, so that's what was reported here in Russia and what happened in reality in Snake Island, but that's terrible. Susan S., I prefer dealing with CD than this. What's a CD? Are nobody. Hi, Ray. Bob S., are there any rumors of limiting internet access? Hang on, 1040. The heck, where did my chat go? I'm sorry, my chat just disappeared. Hang on one second. The heck? All my chat messages disappeared that were posted before 11 p.m. Lorna, Mommy, do you have any idea what's going on? Because I don't. Maria Z is here. Oh, great. Maria, how are you? What's up? What's going on in Kiev? Please let us know. Julie, only prayers. Maria, if you're listening, you have no idea how sorry I am that it's happening in Kiev. We're just in awe and in shock here. I don't know what to say. You guys hang on there. The thing is, you have no place to run because the military is probably surrounding Kiev. My big question is what they're gonna do after they take Kiev. Okay, suppose they do it pretty fast, in a few days. And then what? They think that things will magically change and Ukrainians will say, whoa, we're now with Russia or we liberated or. I mean, Ukraine has a president that was democratically elected. Not a good president. I don't like him. I think he's a terrible president. But hey, you know what? Look who's talking now, right? What are we gonna do with him? Are we gonna put him to trial or, God forbid, execute him or what? He's the president of the people. Anyway, so all chat disappeared before. Guys, if you want me to answer Your comments, questions, please put them in caps again, because now I'm looking and I'm seeing only messages, comments after 11 p.m. I saw one old comment and something about internet. Internet is still working. There are no rumors, no warnings that internet will be cut off or somehow limited. But recent news, just a couple hours ago, Facebook is going to be partially limited for our access, because there are like 23 instances. Oh, big deal, of fake news media posting fake news. Okay, and because of that, we Russians are getting Facebook limited by our own government, of course, due to our own safety, because the government doesn't want us to see the fakes. You understand? I don't know what to say. I understand one thing, that things happen quick. Everything is fine. The next thing you know, you don't have Facebook. The next thing you know, planes are flying somewhere and bombing some facilities. Next thing you know, you don't have any mobile network coverage on your telephone. Next thing you know, you don't have internet at home. And of course, for our own safety, I understand. I follow the party line. Thrifty Stitcher, do you garden? We have a few fruit trees, sour cherry, walnuts. But other than that, we do not garden. We don't have that much land. We live right inside of the city, and I go to my uncle's farm, and oh my God, he gardens. He has hundreds of acres of land, sunflower, wheat, corn, tomatoes, cukes, you name it, everything that grows locally, he grows. Deep South Bama with Mr. Tom Fox. Anything now sent to Russia will be held. That's an interesting news. Mr. Tom, where did you hear that? Julie F. Hey, at least I got you laughing again. Yeah. Give me something that I can laugh, guys. I would love that. Because it's been just not very great time lately. Maria Z. Kostya, we're in a basement shelter. People pray for us. Fucking A. This is unbelievable. Well, I'm definitely praying. Ross Matthews, I wish I could show you guys my Musing and Says collection, beautiful Russian history pieces. Yeah. Whew, Maria, please everyone pray for Maria and for the Ukrainians, for her family. Just fucking A. DMV, Greg, be careful, Konstantin. We want you around for many, many years. Thank you. I think it's Maria Z who needs to be careful now. I just... Christine Johnson, yeah, it's good that the kids got a safe place. In Kiev, and the Russia is bombing. This is... Mr. Tom, also with monetary sanctions now in effect, all payments from Google have been suspended to Russia. Oh, I haven't heard that. Where are you reading that? That's pretty sad news, so much for support from YouTube and Super Chat and things like that. But hey, it's deserved, I have no hard feelings. North Shore Preparedness, Maria Z sending prayers for you from Canada. Praying for you all. Yes, it's good that you guys are praying for Maria. Yes. I don't know what to do, what else to do. Usual suspect 360 sliding in late. Usual suspect. Firefly Farm on the bathroom floor doing plumbing while listening. EMS paramedic is here. Ross Matthews, please understand, we know it's not the general Russian population. None of us has control over what our government leaders do. Yes and no. If it's not us, then who? Then who? Alexei Berzon. I forgot to call you back. I'm sorry, Losha. What's the situation in Rostov right now? Quiet. Quiet. Lots of cops everywhere. There's an emergency situation declared. They're very suspicious of anyone with a video camera. Checking the paperwork. But nothing major. Like no hustles. No extra hustles, People in general are edgy, very nervous. Maria Z is in the basement asking for prayers. This is crazy. JQ, how we can support Ukraine? Any trusted organizations we can donate to? If you guys can, Maria, let us know. I mean, I'm the first one who'll donate, as much as you want me to. There is satellite imagery showing our troops at the Polish border. The Poland is part of NATO, so I'm sure there'll be a amassment of troops at the Polish border. The question is, will they start hitting the Russian troops? Kitsy Witty, are you able to get food, water, and supplies, or are the markets closed? That's a very good question. I'd like to Maria to answer, because I'd love to know that too. JL Dixon, just joining from Florida. Is it accurate that Putin is open for negotiations as stated in our local news? Good point on Ukraine's president. You just stated. First of all, I don't know what I just stated. That was some time ago, but the news have it here that Russian president said that Russia is willing to negotiate, at least to hold a meeting for negotiations with Ukraine, and they are organizing a meeting right now. I don't believe in meetings anymore. We'll see what happens, Mr. Tom, Konstantin, Google and Apple Pay have suspended all payments to Russia effective today. Well, you know what? I have used Apple Pay here in Russia with a Russian bank. Okay. You're mistaken. I know what you're talking about. You're partially right. I shouldn't say. Sorry, Mr. Tom. There have been 5 banks, commercial banks, that have been placed under sanctions by the Western financial institutions. I'm not sure what the banks are. I know one is VTB, and it has ties to the Russian government. And Google and Apple have frozen payments. If you're a client of those banks, you cannot use the services anymore. But rest of Russian banks, actually business as usual. I woke up this morning, you know, for the first time in my life, I actually woke up and I was hesitant, I was afraid to look at the news. I I was just laying with a telephone and I'm like, I wish it was a dream, one bad dream, and I would wake up right now and everything would be normal. Anyway, I open my telephone, like, activate my telephone, and the first thing that I get is the message from my bank, like big news. I'm like, oh man, fudge, So, the bank says that sanctions have been placed on some Russian banks, but dear customer, dear Konstantin, don't worry. We are fine. We're not. And they give you FAQ right in my phone, like, what's going now? Can you use your Visa MasterCard? Can you transfer money in and out of Russia? Can you do this? Can you do that? So my bank is fine, but the five banks, you're absolutely right, are under sanctions. Okay. But that's one of the least things we should worry about now. I just want one thing. I want Maria Z be well and safe, and her family and whoever is around her. Toast Buster, have you played Metal Gear Solid 5? My friend, I do not play games ever. Not a gamer. Healthy disrespect for authority. Do some Russians still have landlines? I guess so. Very few, but I guess so, yeah. We gave up our landline about 6 years ago. Um, you know, Susan asked, didn't you show us your uncle's farm one time? Yes, I did. It's still there twice. I showed twice. One of the last times I actually saw my dad was I had a party. My last party with my dad was in early May at uncle's farm, and I filmed, and my dad was doing a barbecue, and he looked so sad. And then he left early. He went to work, and then I stayed. We went home. I saw my dad a couple more times, and then he came to see us off because we were going back to Moscow, going back home. And that was the last time I saw him. But my two videos about the uncle's farm are still there. Christine Johnson, I still have my email account, yes. Klingon Princess, have you heard anything about Patreon? You know, Mr. Tom, Princess, don't worry much about it, because that's one of the last things we need to worry. If they block PayPal, Patreon, everything, I mean, I'm not making my living, livelihood living anyway. I'm not making money from YouTube that I rely on for living, and I think very few people do. If YouTube money stop, well, I make, well, at least for the past couple months, I did quite a bit in super chats, a few $100s, and that's a great help. Don't get me wrong, it's great money. It pays for gas, for some food and stuff like that. But I'm not gonna die if that money stop. It's just, let's worry about this special operation thing. Fudge. It just becomes so much worse than someone is affected, someone you care about. Ironwood Workman, do you think China and the US are watching to see how powerful Russian army is? I don't care. I don't care if they're watching or not, you know. Also, last seen Johnny FD and Bolden Bankrupt were last seen in Kiev today, trying to get out. Good luck to the guys. I like them. I watch their videos, you know. I wish I could help in any way. Billy Sanford, is your wife a good cook? The best one. The best in the world. I hope my wife is watching this. Or she'll watch it tomorrow, rerun. Natasha, you are the best cook ever. I was coming to Rostov, I was hoping to do all kinds of like videos, like what we eat for breakfast. Oh, fudge. They just seem like nonsense to me right now, you know. Xiao Spetsnaz made it. Hope all is well with everyone. Well, not all is well with Maria Z, you know. Prayers for you, Daragaya. You know. Richard Fox, 400 for children sent, smile. It made everyone's day. Okay. Actually, it wasn't 400, it was 600 that the anonymous sent me. He asked me to give 200 for the refugees and 400 for, those little infants, orphan infants. But the 200 for refugees ended up being for an orphan house that was displaced and moved from Donbass into Rostov. So it also went for orphan babies. Eric Christopher, since the US is freezing all Russian assets in American and other banks here, will all trade with Russia simply stop? I don't know. First of all, I have not heard of US is freezing all Russian assets in America. And I've heard a few banks, Russian banks, have been placed upon sanctions list. I've heard that quite a few politicians and decision makers here in Russia have been placed on the personal sanctions list. Their assets are frozen. But we'll see what life brings us, We might hear more bad news. It's really bad that they... Well, I guess I feel responsible as well. And if this sanctions definitely gonna make my life so much more miserable, so much worse. But I'm not complaining. I mean, I'm just taking whatever comes into me because hey, we shouldn't be out there bombing Ukraine. Otto von Bismarck, it might be time for you to play your card I mentioned before. That path might be closing soon, not from this end though. Otto von Bismarck, thank you so much. I remember definitely. And you know what? It's been thought over. Can't leave my mom at this point. Really putting my fate, not faith, face. Putting fate in God's hands right now. I hope everything works out well. Patrick Stewart asking, hi Konstantin, what kind of work do you do? I work at a large construction company. We constructing energy facilities, gas-fired power stations that produce electricity and heat, steam. For how long? I don't know. Susan asks, okay, you requested laughing questions. Can you show us one of your gimbal tricks? My biggest gimbal tricks is to make it work because this is a brand new gimbal and it's acting up. Perhaps I'm gimbal cursed. My good gimbal was broken. I broke like it literally. I fell down and it fell apart in two pieces. Then I bought a really expensive great gimbal, a DJI OM5. DJI not just stopped working, and the support says, "Oh, we can't support in Russia. We can't fix it. You have to send it, mail it to us to China, and then we cannot mail it back to Russia. You have to give us a different address somewhere else in some other country, and then we'll mail it gladly to that country. And you have to pay for the mailing expenses, of course, you know." And I wrote them nasty letter, and then I bought this gimbal, courtesy of one of the subscribers, Ray Nobody, and it's acting up. You can't believe it, you know. So that's a trick. Any news from Maria? I'm trying to look through comments. Maria, thank you, Kostya. All. That's the least I can do, you know. Maybe they should. Kidsy Witty, are you able to get food, water, and supplies? Are you markets closed? I think that question is towards Maria Z, and I want Maria Z to answer that. Here in Russia, business as usual. I made a video. I actually went food shopping yesterday. Half empty store, plenty of everything. No problem, no panic, no hoarding, nothing. So we have plenty of everything, more than we need. Going through comments. Robert S. Konstantin, is your wife still working with a charity that you told us about previously? She's involved. She's not employed at the charity. She was one of the founders back in like 10 years ago. And while we lived in Rostov, she was employed at the charity. Well, she was founder. But then we moved to Moscow. She still keeps in touch, and then she helps every time she's in Rostov, but it's not like on daily basis, if you know what I mean. But she's the one who actually bought all the diapers and toys. I just gave the money. And she previously got the money from the charity a couple days ago. She went and helped out by buying and shopping for requested items and bringing it to the warehouse. So she's still involved very heavily on daily basis while she's in Rostov. Robert Bates, Konstantin, please do not read the comments that have been deleted. Grayed out. I am trying not to, but thank you. I don't think I have read any comments like that. Maria, you're not alone. We're praying for you. Thank you, guys. I don't know what to say. It's making me so devastated. I really hate the feeling of helplessness. I wish there was more I could do. More thoughts and prayers. That's to Maria. That's not to me, you know. I'm the one who's sitting in Rostov in Russia, and I'm safe. There are no planes flying above me or bombing me, you know. I don't expect any tanks roll over and start firing. Christine Johnson, go by what you know on the money thing, Kostya. Christine, what exactly do you mean on the money thing? Rachel Ronan, is it possible to live stream from the streets of Rostov? Yes, very much so. Baklakov actually did a live stream a few days ago. I did a couple live streams. One of them I actually joined. Baklakov released a very interesting video today from St. Petersburg. You know what? I ask you to go and watch it and let me know what you think. Well, not right now, but later. Let me know what you think tomorrow in the comments, okay? Because I want to know your opinion. It's quite different from mine. I want to compare what you guys from the West, what you are thinking about this thing, and how do you compare like what I'm saying and what Sergey Baklakov is saying. No hard feelings to Sergey. He's a great guy, you know. I like him. I met him. I invited him to my house and we had a good time. I will stream from streets of Rostov tomorrow. Unfortunately, it'll be dark. Not too cold, you know, definitely not Moscow, but I will stream because I'm not gonna do the talking head video tomorrow. Definitely will be a stream. No one wants to revive old history. It's up to us to try to make a better world. And Russia is certainly making a better world right now, you know. My country is making this better world. Okay, so glad the normal flu went on vacation while the Wuhan flu was being local. It's disappeared here, you know. All flus, all diseases disappear in times of war. That's true. Peace Train of America, hello my friend. I'm praying for you. Blessings being sent, we pray. Please pray for Maria Z, for people in Kiev, and for her loved ones. Kitsy Witty, are international agencies such as Red Cross being set up in Russia or Ukraine for food supplies? Certainly not in Russia. In Ukraine, perhaps, I don't know. Christopher P. Brown, thinking of you, Konstantin. Russia and Ukraine always have my support. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, Russia might not have support of many people for any longer. But this is life. You know, you gotta pay for what you do. There are consequences for every action. John Liebold is here. Konstantin, I obviously follow the Russian line, official news, whatever that means. Well, listen, John, what is going on right now is all Russian journalists and all, well, I suppose, bloggers, anyone who is doing some information work, were warned yesterday by two bodies of Russian government, General Prosecutor Office and Rospotrebnadzor. We were kindly reminded that we only can use information of this operation, what's going on in Ukraine, that we get from official sources of Russian government. You know, Ministry of Defense, Russian president, things like that. And another body of the government, that's General Prosecutor's Office, kindly reminded us that that's a criminal offense if we spread fakes and disinformation. And fakes is disinformation is everything that we get from other sources other than, you know, official ones. Therefore, I only quoting what I hear officially. And of course, you can read behind the lines, between the lines. And of course, I ask questions. And sometimes I give rumors that are, of course, fake, you know, unconfirmed. But I just heard them, you know. So you can make a picture out of what I'm saying. Polster 2, the banks in question include banks under the VTB Group, Sovcom Bank, Novicom Bank, Pромsvязьbank Bank. Oh, Открытие. Открытие is got under the sanctions, huh? Wow. I have an account at Открытие. It's an old Russian bank. But I don't use it much, so it's thank goodness. Mr. Tom, if I were you, I would take my money out now and hide it. That's a very good advice. I might follow it. Thank you. RJ, hope all is well with you and your family. Thank you so much. If it's, well, it's same to me, it's in caps. JL Dixon, you may have heard from yesterday's Biden speech placing sanctions on those 5 banks freezing their accounts. He stated over $1 trillion. $1 trillion? No. 1 billion perhaps. Russian banks don't have that much. Will halt exports to Russia and imports from Russia. I did not hear Biden saying that, but I heard the news about the sanctions placed on the pawned banks, and what can I say? I mean, every action has a reaction. Fingal, best investment is food right now. We have plenty of food. My uncle's farm has supply of food probably would last for 5 years to feed all our families. So I'm not really worried about food that much. If we go back to Moscow, would be more of a concern. But I'll stock up. Whew. Leah, here's a little funny. How do you get a tissue to dance? I don't know. How do you get tissue to dance? You tell us. John Liebold says Konstantin has said many controversial things over the many months I have followed him, and if they were to warn K or shut him down, they will. He's a small fry on the radar. And you're right, John, but the thing is, that was long time ago, okay? There was no special operation or anything like that. And now, things have changed, okay? And now, we have new rules under effect, and the control is much stricter because, God forbid, we might have traitors, the agents of enemy working in our country, God forbid they spread some videos that come from Ukraine. So that's the deal. Marciano Jones, I'm new here, but what do you do for a living? I gotta do a FAQ video about myself. Probably a good idea. I am an executive at a large construction company. We construct large, medium, and small power stations that produce electricity and heat, steam. We use technologies for gas-fired and coal-fired. Coal-fired is usually in Siberia, and then in Mongolia. We built a huge power station in Mongolia. Quite a few of them, all over Russia. We had a huge business in Ukraine. We still do, but the company kind of split in two. Ukraine's been like main operation for past 20 years, 25 years, okay. Now, in Odessa, they're laying down mines, making a minefield on the beaches, waiting for the Russian troops to start storming. I used to vacate in Odessa. I used to have fun, just spend days on those beaches, Who would have thought that'd be minefields? This is so sad. You guys, you gotta realize, even if it stops right now, which I doubt it will, even if it does, Ukrainians not gonna forget that. Ukrainians not gonna forgive. Ukrainians gonna remember it for the rest of their lives, and they're gonna teach kids to hate us. And I don't see a reason why they shouldn't. Patrick Stewart, I just answered your question. What do I do for a living? With this situation, I don't know how stable our markets are and how stable everything is. I found Waldo. Would it be acceptable to close every stream with a prayer where 2 or 3 agree? I would love to. Please send me anyone send me a prayer, and I will close stream with a prayer. Gotta hurry up because I'm behind. John Liebold, blocking SWIFT is looking likely, but sanctions are very rubbery. Blocking SWIFT, I don't think it's possible. Well, it's possible, but I don't think it's probable because the countries, other countries other than Russia, they will be hurt as much as Russia. It doesn't make any sense to block SWIFT. Blocking certain Russian banks, Russian people, yes, it's possible. Russian officials, but not blocking SWIFT. And then again, anything is possible. I've been telling you for couple months that Russia's not going to invade. Like in every single stream and every single video, when people will ask me why is Russia amassing the troops at the border, I said, oh no, don't worry, Russia's not going to invade. I have been telling that. Well, I told that many times, not for the past 2 days, but and then I woke up one day with Putin telling me, addressing me personally, because I'm a Russian, he was addressing all Russian citizens, saying that he was forced to, to order this special operation. So I don't know, perhaps they might shut down SWIFT. That's gonna make our lives so miserable. Healthy disrespect for authority. Have you seen any live streams from Moscow since yesterday? There are a few around. I have not seen any live streams, but I know that people in Moscow actually came to protest. And they were arrested, quite a few of them, for, protesting. And some people were arrested. There is a criminal activity in Russia if you call other people to protest. That's illegal. So some people were put to jail for that. I don't really see what is the problem for a person to go out and say, I don't like war, no war. Well, I guess these days in Russia it's illegal. Mary Jo, hey, I didn't see a teacup today. Well, this is it. This is a teacup. I want more tea, but it's gone. And this is a cup, big boss cup, full of water. It's good also. There you go. Christopher Brown, sorry Konstantin, hope you are well. Thank you so much. I am alive. Maria, where are you? Please, Maria, write something at least. We see you here. Mort's Nerdly, for the first time ever, NATO response force has been activated. Is it active? I mean, is it like moving into Ukraine or what's going on? Xiao Spetsnaz, I guess I missed it. What is going on with Maria Z? She is in a bomb shelter in Kiev. That's what's going on with her. She's praying out there, Can't imagine the stress she's at. she's on there right now. Me neither. Luva, you and Sergey have totally different personalities and perspectives. We do, and that's okay. In reality, like in real life, he's nice guy, very warm. But I want you to compare the video that he made with the videos that I make. Which point of view is closer to you guys? Chocolates and champagne for Lorna and Mommy. You know what? Fingal, this is a great idea. Oh my god, thank you so much. Gosh, I'm not gonna send anything from Russia anymore, but I can order stuff from Amazon. Ha! That's a fantastic idea. Next day delivery. My god. Anton Alexander. I got your response. I see that. Yeah. Christine Johnson, I didn't understand your own information. I meant when it comes to your finances. I missed that. Linda, thank you so much. Mitch Rody. We are with you in spirit, Maria Z. We'll keep praying. I guess that's the only thing we can do right now. Alan Mayer Jensen, he's in Russia. Well, I am, yeah. Teresa Harrison, Konstantin, I tuned out of the Western mainstream media propaganda machine. X Chen, do you have plans to move back to the USA? My friend, it's too personal. I'm not gonna share with you here. Ross Matthews, yes, I hear your opinion. Thank you. Leia put a little boogie in it. Boogie? What's a boogie? Lisa Bowman, does your uncle live in Rostov on Don near you? About 40-minute drive. Outside of Rostov, but very accessible. Leia, put a little boogie in it. Oh, I see. How do you make That's funny. My English is pretty good. My accent is rough, but I understand everything. I can understand humor. You know, it's the most difficult thing in language to understand humor and actually to be able to express yourself in a humorous way. And also, it's really difficult to understand specific lingua, like engineering terms or military terms or like space terms, things like that. Christopher Christoph. China will cherishly take Russian imports and move exports through China. Cutting off SWIFT will just cost a shift to China Union Pay system. That's exactly the point that I made earlier. If we cut off SWIFT, we're gonna create new super system with China, and we will try to get all banks in the world from different countries. Probably first third world countries, Indian banks, third world countries banks, to join that new system, payment system, global system, and that's going to be a huge, huge competitor to SWIFT. So it doesn't make any sense to switch us off SWIFT. Just post, just post your bloody resume. Keep it handy. Yeah. Healthy disrespect. Where is Russia on the green movement? I don't know. It's moving, marching somewhere. Sorry, everyone. I'm full of jokes. Just trying to light it for you 15 seconds. Thank you so much, Leah. Carrie, what's Pig's favorite move? Pork chop. Rachel Ronan, the worst wars are those within the family. Agreed. Mr. Tom, this just released NATO readies response force as Russia assaults Ukraine, threatens Finland. That's news for me. Does Russia threaten Finland? What's wrong with Finland? Do they have nationalists in Finland as well? Ukrainian nationalists or what? Let me tell you guys, we'd better not start a special military operation in Finland, because it means one thing and one thing only, that Russian, who is not well, and that Russia is raising up against the entire world. And I just pray this will not happen. I have not heard anything about Russia threatening Finland. If there's anything, you please let me know, like right here, right now. Then I gotta start researching it immediately. Finland. Perhaps they're upset that we lost the Olympic ice hockey final to Finland. Russian team was so bad, I was kind of expected. Oh, small good news. Leah, this is another funny. Why couldn't the tissue cross the street? It was stuck in a crack. That is so funny. I found Waldo. I shared military intel and Red country, hoping to use them against your country. Red states in turn turned the intel over to your country, made mad. Oh, okay. Alexander Yanovich, USA did not stop oil trade with Russia. Business as usual. I agree. And by the way, the gas, natural gas from Russia to Europe, is still being pumped through Ukraine. Lisa, excuse me my ignorance, but aren't Ukrainians former Russians? Not really. Ukrainians are Ukrainians, but they used to be a part of Russia. Their country used to be a republic of Soviet Union. So we were in the same country, and this is why this special military operation that is called that way here in Russia and everywhere else it's called war. That's why this thing is so shocking to us. Literally, we are in war with our brothers and sisters in faith, in culture, in language, and in just general life. I guess they're not brothers and sisters anymore. How can you remain brother and sister and if you are bombed by your former brothers and sisters, and your tanks roll and people are killed and all this mess? So we're not brothers and sisters anymore. Christine Johnson, Kostya, can you close today the stream with a prayer from your heart? I can. Good idea. Yeah. There's not much in my heart except for one topic right now. It's going to be very short and very, very, sincere prayer. Mr. Tom just came over the news feed. Over 1,700 arrested. Where is that? Julie F. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed by the name, the kingdom come, the will be done. Lorna, John Liebold is cool. We converse with him quite often. So I have no problem with this guy, just he also pushes me, always pushes me like to the edge in opinions and makes me think. But also John, Lorna and Mommy, they have complete authority of this chat, and whatever they find necessary, they do, and I don't have any problem with that. Mr. Tom, now that is escalation not all good. If you're talking about NATO moving into Russia, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. Rene Gulian, are you in Russia? Yes, I am. Southern Russia, the very center of the happenings. The city of Rostov-on-Don. This is where the military operation was launched from, and it was launched yesterday morning while I was sleeping. Mike Williams, Russians and Ukrainians can get along on Chernobyl, but not otherwise. Wow, ridiculous. Mike, trust me, we got along fine in every single aspect of life. Before 2014, before the United States started meddling with Ukrainian government and just the hell broke loose. We were just fine. Michelle Saylor, how old were you when you learned to speak English? I was 20 years old when I started learning how to speak English. It's good that you laugh. Yeah. Otto von Bismarck, how good is your understanding of British English, and do you understand British humor? Well, good question for a change. Otto von Bismarck, if a person speaks clearly with British English, with British English accent, I understand everything. There are some words that I am not familiar with. For example, in the United States, we say lollipop. And in England, they say iced lolly, So things like that I don't understand, but they're really easy to pick up and learn. What I don't really understand, the accents of people, for example, from Manchester. They speak so twisty that I didn't understand. This is a funny story. Back in Maine, I think in 2002, my wife's girlfriend started dating a guy from Manchester. And he came over to Maine with his buddy, and all of us who got together, we went out to show them around. So the guy was talking to us and to me, and he was telling things, and I could not understand almost one single word. And I'm thinking, well, that's because my English is bad. I mean, I don't understand what he's saying, but I was just nodding him like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then I see my wife nodding, and both guys, they go like, oh, we're gonna go to bathroom, restroom. Okay. So they left. My wife, who was born and raised in, who was born in Maine, raised in California, her first and only language back then was English. And she looked at me and she asked, Kostya, did you understand a thing that they were talking about? And I started laughing. I said, Bonnie, if you didn't understand, you're expecting me to understand that. So some things I don't understand, but I was in London and no problem, I can be in there for a long time. I can even pick up accent a little bit. MacGS, Russia threatens both Finland and Sweden tonight? I beg you. What? What the? Hang on, guys. Let me open news. Nothing. Nothing. Absolutely nothing in the Russian news. Could you please post a link to Russia threatening Finland and Sweden? How about it? How about it? I don't see anything. The latest news is, well, there are official news that I'm looking at, nothing, and unofficial news, the independent news agency that's located outside of Russia, they're not saying anything about. The biggest news is the limit of partial limit of access to Facebook right now. Nothing about Finland and Sweden. What the heck? Guys, where'd you get this? MacJS, please let me know, let us all know where did you find it? Disposable, Finland and Sweden are considering joining NATO instead of being neutral. Well, okay, I've heard that, but what is Russia threatening that it's gonna bomb them because they want to join NATO? That's not NATO grabbing them inside, that's them looking at what Russia is doing at Ukraine, they wanting to join. Russian officials says to Finland and Sweden they have to fear war if they think about joining NATO. Who said? Like what Russian officials and where did they say that? Please give me a link. Because this is big. Buzz Salmon is here. Hi, Buzz. May God keep us all safe until we meet again in the name of Jesus. Amen. Amen to that. Patricia Bonifant, CDC just stopped mask mandates. CDC said, ask your doctor if you need to wear a mask. Oh my god. This is also biggest news, you know. For such a long time, they've been just putting dust into our eyes about the masks, and all of a sudden they give it up. Now, all of a sudden, it's safe not to wear masks. Fantastic, you know. Like a day in preparedness, I don't think we want to see another winter war. I certainly don't. Matt Inger, Russia issues ominous warning to Finland, Sweden should they join NATO. Where do you see that? Hi, Matt. Whew. Mr. Tom, so you'll know, NATO has never activated rapid reaction force before. Even when the USSR was, I know it's it's been activated. Okay, at least they're not calling it a police action. Yeah. Thank you so much, boss. Mini wildlife sanctuary, Indiana. We're seeing large protests across Russia. Yes, it's really difficult to protest here in Rostov because there is emergency situation declared that gives cops extra rights. They don't even allow people to make the first step of protesting. So many cops in the center of the city. I'm going tomorrow is weekend. I'm gonna drive and probably film or show you what's going on. If protests happen, they usually happen when it's light, around noonish, something like that. South Colorado Stadium, the 8,000 troops that are going to EU from here can be put in NATO forces and needed. Well, that's one thing if the United States is sending troops to Europe, and that's another thing if there's a direct threats of war between Finland and Sweden. Let me tell you guys, if Russia does something to Finland, Sweden, I would certainly expect NATO to retaliate, I hope Russians are the leaders are not so crazy, because that'd be the end. An old lady in the bank asked me to check the balance. I pushed her over. It's funny. I think, I hope that Sweden and Finland was a joke as well, 1,700 arrested for protesting there in Moscow. I will check. I believe that. I have not heard myself. I have not seen myself. I believe that. But nothing's here in Rostov. It's shut down. People don't even think about doing that. I found Waldo. Last time I heard NATO can't defend a non-NATO country. Ha! I think that NATO can accept Finland and Sweden overnight, can they? It's not non-NATO. The funniest part is Finland and Sweden have always been neutral to NATO. They didn't want to join, and Russia is basically making them to join NATO. Mr. Tom, I was 31 when I learned Russian. Mr. Tom, Russian is more difficult than English. Mr. Tom retained not much. It's like riding a bicycle, you know. Luck and Dame Preparedness, it's on Yahoo. I will certainly, yeah, let me just check right now. I want to see who exactly is threatening. Is it the Putin or... I see the news, and of course it's fake, because it's not coming out of Russian Ministry of Defense. But if I go to Yahoo, I see Russian army has failed to deliver as Ukraine fights back. 2 days in, the Russian offensive appeared to be steamed by stiffer than expected resistance. Of course it's fake, we all know that. Read between the lines. But let me tell you something. That's what is not going to be fake. Russian airport here in the south, airport that sends and receives flights, has been officially shut down until the 2nd of March, and we were promised that after 2nd of March, things will go back to normal. It means they have planned a blitzkrieg, and it must end before the 2nd of March. So this question, whether Russians have failed to deliver or they have not failed, we're gonna learn by 2nd of March. If it's gonna be over, then blitzkrieg is success. If it's not, then this will turn out not to be a fake news. Okay. I've never seen Yahoo News before. Mix Vaseline and toothpaste and watch what happens. Nice. Kendall Jenner posed completely nude in black and white photo. Nice. Massive protests erupted in Putin's hometown St. Petersburg as Russians voice opposition war. Probably fake news, you know. It's not coming out of a Russian government. But what do we know? Not seeing anything about I think that it would be all over like the biggest news if Russia would attack would voice plans to attack Finland and Sweden, you know. So but I will research. I have not seen it on Yahoo News. Thank you. Thank you for giving me heads up. Mr. Tom, Finland borders Russia and has believed to be the best entry point to invading Europe. If it's true, then what can I say, my friends? Finland is like our friend. Lots of Russians go to Finland for food shopping from St. Petersburg. It's like 40-minute drive. Lots of Russians go for vacations in Finland. Fantastic place. Really nice people. I have yet to see one aggressive Finnish person. It's on German news too. That's fantastic, you know. Finland-Russia threat. Okay. Finland-Russia threat. Russia threatens military and political consequences if Finland and Sweden try to join NATO. What, are they crazy? Have they gone mad with this NATO thing? We've been surrounded by NATO countries for the past 20 years, 18 years. No one cared in the past. Now all of a sudden they care, huh? Aha, there you go. Russian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Maria Zakharova, very well-known person, you know. She promised us many times in the past couple months that Russia will not invade Ukraine. That's one of the answers I'd like to ask. I remember her tweets, her posts. The last time I heard, she gave an interview video. She recorded a short video to a Ukrainian blogger, Anatoly Shary, where she promised him that Russia will not invade. How would you explain that, Miss Maria Zakharova? So anyway, she warned against other countries attempting to join NATO after Russia started a war with Ukraine Thursday. Finland and Sweden should not base their security on damaging the security of other countries, and their accession to NATO can have determination. Kind of viral clip of press conference. Imagine we are on completely another planet, and it has nothing to do with us, with Russia, Ukraine, or make up world. Okay, there's one country invading another, and there's military alliance, and two countries that were neutral before, before the war, and they're looking at these things, and it would be very common sense for them to run to the alliance and saying, "Hey, please take us in while you still can." That would make very much sense, and I would understand that. Of course, nothing to do with Russia, guys. Okay, it's just make believe world. Thank you so much. Well, we have not seen it in the official Russian news. I'm sure this is fake. Fake, right? Because it's not in the Russian news. Fake, disinformation, spreading fake news. Ugh, hell with it. But thank you very much. I see the point, and I will certainly research. Well, Mac JC, I take it you're from Sweden, right? Because you have Swedish flag. Yes, if we would apply for membership to NATO, Russia would act against us. I'm not trying to be, actually it makes me a very bad predictor of things, but I predict you would. You will. I predict you will fairly soon, okay? And I predict Finland will fairly soon. But what do I know? Yes, Lucky Day in Preparedness. I found it on Yahoo, and well, what can I say? The mad circus continues and intensifies. Who are we gonna threaten next? This is not funny. Yeah, she's quite a source. I lost all. Anyway, I won't go there. That's against body line. Maria Zakharova. How would she explain her promises that Russia would not invade Ukraine? No one. She doesn't bring it up anymore. Okay. I wish that any journalist in Russia would ask her that question. Sally Kennock, oh no, my province in Canada has been told to pull all Russian-made booze off the shelves. Are you serious, or is it a joke? Rich Mountains, Yahoo's full of duck squad. Let me tell you, I'm gonna go to Maria Zakharova official Twitter account, because it's there. If she made the threats, it's there, and I'm gonna check for myself. Not now, but I'll let you know tomorrow. Because if it's true, it's gonna be big news tomorrow. I found Waldo. I saw Russia took possession of biggest plane in the world that was in Ukraine and flew it to Russia. Oi, Russian official news didn't say anything, because probably most likely it's propaganda and fake news and disinformation, but I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised at all, because I have seen so many things happen lately that it does not surprise me. They just need to, have a good advice for them. Take Kiev and go to central bank and all they have gold reserves they have, appropriate that. Joke, of course, Don't quote me on that. That was a joke. These two, CGTN, had an interview with Maria Zakharova, and she said that. That's crazy. How can Russia mandate other countries not to join NATO? Can other countries mandate Russia not to join a military alliance with China? Rich mountains. Finland makes the best vodka. I beg to disagree with you. Try French vodka that is called Grey Goose and compare to Finnish vodka called Finlandia. And I'm sorry, Finnish guys, but your vodka is excellent, but Grey Goose is out of this world. The best there is. Lou, I think we're all being played, and Ukraine was used in the play like a rag doll. It was used in the play, yes. I agree that Ukraine was a client, it still is a client state that was a pawn in a big chess game, but no one expected Russia not to play by the rules. Okay, and then it started. Mary St. Ange, men 1860 are not allowed to leave Ukraine and are being armed to defend Ukraine. I'm not sure of such a bad move. He's strong saying, Mommy and Lorna, you're doing a fantastic job. You know what? I feel safe. I feel like I shouldn't pay any attention to what's going on in the chat because I know that Mommy and Lorna are behind me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. God bless you. David Nons, God bless you, Konstantin. Yeah, thank you. John Liebold, NATO is not a threat. This is a myth. It only threats, NATO poses threat, democracy, not a bad threat. Laura, John, not going to argue with you here. Klingon Princess, yes, on Pinball's chat, you only have the platform that you have to worry about. I don't worry about platform anymore. The worst thing can happen is they ban, delete my channel, whatever. I worry about being banned and deleted myself, So it's pretty bad. Not as bad as a situation that Maria Z is in right now. Boss, Sim, and Konstantin, and ladies, what time tomorrow? It's a good question. I think 8 p.m., which is noon Eastern Standard Time. If it's good for you guys, let me know. I don't want to make it such a late stream. I want to stop by and have dinner or something like that. Perhaps should take Natasha out for a date tomorrow. Michelle Saylor, is the yacht story true? Which yacht story? Rachel Ron, there's fake news propaganda and also ignorant people reporting on things they don't understand. The latter is probably the worst one. The whole pulling Russian booze thing is silly in my opinion. If it's true, well, like I said, every action has consequences, has a reaction. Gilles Pony, hello Konstantin, still no casualty officially. That's a good question. On the Russian side, for the second day in a row, officially there hasn't been any casualties. This is the party line, and who am I to question it? Although, it's really hard for me to believe it, okay? Well, they're saying it must be so. But they have reported some casualties on the Ukrainian side, but I don't remember how many. The casualties part is not being emphasized, It's like we bombed 83 facilities. We shut down 5 helicopters. We shut down jet fighters, We destroyed 11 missile launchers, some things like that. But I don't suppose that military facilities are actually unmanned, okay, especially at this time of war. I don't believe that helicopters and jet fighters, they fly themselves without pilots. I don't believe that the mobile missile launchers do not have operators, drivers that sit in or around them, okay? So if they destroyed 83 military facilities, imagine how many casualties there are in Ukraine. That's a question. I'm not saying there are, because I haven't heard of, I think there's just like a few couple or something like that. But just think how many there are. And the things that I have seen, and I'm not going to talk about right now, pretty bad. Repentir. Wow, Russia overtook Ukraine in days. Scary. Russians haven't said that Russia overtook Ukraine. They're saying that they're advancing. Okay, that's it. They're saying that facilities have been destroyed. That's it. Domi Ciela Husman. There you go. Germany's here. Hello, Germany. A few days ago, I would have said, "Hey, I'm sending you love from Russia to Germany from Russia with love." But I am really afraid to say this phrase because love is certainly not coming out of the south of Russia to Ukraine and probably to the rest of the world. So I just say thank you and welcome to the stream. That's it. South Colorado State here. I hear your comment about troops and casualties. I'm not going to repeat it here, but thank you so much. I have heard that too. James Atkinson, is RT News reliable? If not, where do you get information? RT News was reliable because what happened, RT News was created to broadcast Russia all over the world, and they were under great scrutiny in the UK, in France, all over Europe, and in the United States, meaning that in case of a tiniest, smallest mistake or misinformation, RT would be crucified. So RT was always good on the facts, okay? But what's going on right now, I'm seeing just official party line coming out of RT. That's it. I watched it just before I came onto the stream. Moreover, I'm gonna give you RT right now and tell you that is on Russia Today. This is what we see. Russia Today in Russian. We have registered suspicious activity from your page. And it, is asking me to verify that I'm a human. Okay. Russia Today for you guys. The biggest news, the headliner, Russian military has entered Melitopol. Melitopol is the city right next to Taganrog. Okay. The military has entered without any opposition from the Ukrainians. Evening on the 25th of February, Russian troops have marched and entered Ukrainian city of Melitopol. No opposition. Blah blah blah. Navy SEALs landed prior. The next news. Roskomnadzor has informed about the beginning of slowing down traffic of Facebook in Russia. Zelensky, who is the Russian president, has agreed to the Putin's proposition about holding the meeting. Imagine Dragons have cancelled the concerts in Russia and in Ukraine. Breaking news. Russian Ministry of Defense just informed that Russian troops have entered Melitopol. Wonderful. Ain't this wonderful, huh? In Donetsk Republic, there was information from Donetsk Republic about shelling of village of Shiroky Balki from the side of the Ukrainians. Maria Zakharova called powerlessness the sanctions of the West towards Putin and Lavrov. Well, we're going to see about that. Biden ordered to send more troops to Europe from the USA to beef up NATO defense. Good news. Psaki announced USA decision to place new sanctions against Putin, Lavrov, and some Russian bureaucrats and officials. Ha! That's a good news. That's pretty amazing. Russian Airlines Aeroflot have cancelled flights to Poland and Czech Republic until the 28th of March. It's not the Russian Aeroflot that cancelled. It's Poland and Czech. They have forbidden Russian airlines to use their airspace. Okay? And now you see RT is giving it as Aeroflot has made a decision not to fly to Poland and Czech anymore. That's the news. In theory, it's true, but it's given from a different perspective, you see? The mayor of Kiev called the current situation in the city horrible. Anyway, stuff like that. So that's, guys, that's it. Just give you an idea what RT is about. The party line. It's good. We all follow party line, you know. I heard that China is joining NATO. That's a good joke. You know, Russia was expected to be accepted as a part of NATO, and Putin was bragging about it for the first 3 years of his presidency. He was so sincere, and he wanted to join NATO so bad. He was promised a couple times, but, you know, it was like a carrot in front of him. They were just being pulled over and over and over further. Jill, any news from Maria Z? Yes, she's in a bomb shelter in Kiev, and the situation is pretty miserable. Please pray for her. Ruth Crawford, report that merchant ships hit with missiles in the Black Sea. I've seen the reports. I think it was the official party line that Moldova has reported that one of its ships with a Russian crew was hit by someone. I don't remember. The Russians were, well, obviously, if Russians are bombing, it should be Russians, right? Pinball preparedness. Yes, I am still going, brother. Whoa. It's been 3 hours almost, right? 2.5. Gotta wrap it up. I made a promise to edit and upload the video, so probably 2 more hours for me. Gilles, Pony, any official news of people protesting in Russian cities? I have seen with my own eyes the videos of some. And Baklakov was actually made his video, I think, yesterday. He was passing by some people protesting, and I could hear chanting, you know, no war, stop war. But in official news, nada. Mary St. Ange, Reuters is reporting on casualties. Thank you so much. I cannot say it out loud. Taken, it sounds like a very big number, but it could be true. I don't know. South Colorado State here. RT Moscow is doing mostly. Well, I just read you what RT is doing, and you make your own decision whether it's trustworthy or not. Chiron, talk about Sweden and Finland. We discussed that earlier. Konstantin, praying for your family. Thank you so much. Melody Angel, if Russia wanted to take Ukraine out, would have done it also. Russia is not a punk. Oi, Russia is not a punk, that's for sure. And now Russia is a very strong country, and it's flexing muscles and showing Ukraine how it's done, and might show Finland and Sweden, you know, if those countries misbehave. RT has completely different stories. Well, yeah, Pinball, I think that'd be much of interest what's going on here on Russia Today. I put in search Russia Today, and it clearly, like, the first result I got, Russia Today in Russian. And I clicked it, and it's in Russian for the Russian citizens, you know. They can't get away with stuff like that in the United States, because they'd be shut down before they can even, you know, have a coffee. Scooter Wisdom, China told Putin to chill. Don't think so. China has supported Russia so far, and they said that they certainly do not approve the sanctions against Russia. So, no, they have not said anything about taking a chill pill. BS Frag, I heard RT was victim of cyber attacks by hackers. Who knows? Pinball preparedness. Latest headlines on RT here. China respects Russia actions amid crisis in Ukraine. Pinball, that's true. I've heard that news before. It's official party line, you know. See, NATO sends more weapons to Ukraine. I have not heard that. Stoltenberg, US to sanction Putin. Well, in the news, they've been saying, oh, you know, it'd be so wrong to sanction Putin, you know. It's just rumors that you're gonna put sanctions on Putin and Lavrov and something. Maria Zakharova said it's a bad thing. It's pretty low to put sanctions, something like that, you know. Michelle Silby, if RT is not giving us the same news in US English, then what is the best resource for truth? I often watch Russia Inside with subtitles in English. I don't know. Watch Pinball Preparedness. He's my source for news. I trust him. For Russian news, Medusa is actually pretty good. I'm not sure if they have site in English, but they're the last standing independent piece of media in Russian language. They were forced out of Russia and then they located someplace else, like in London, I think. But a long story. There was another news media outlet, and there was a new editor appointed by new owners, and the entire team quit and was relocated to London by some rich Russians who are in the opposition, and they're in London, and they're named as a foreign agent by Russian government, but they're still allowed to be seen from Russia. Perhaps not for long, because they just sent a message to all their viewers to please download their app as soon as possible, because they don't know how long they're going to be able to broadcast in Russia. Mary, BBC says there's so many civilians and soldiers dead so far. Thank you so much. Accepted. The news accepted. Pinball preparedness for Russia. Look at TASS. Yeah, TASS is halfway decent. The Moscow Times is not the government paper, but they're small, very small potatoes, you know. Careful for fake news on your side. This is not Poland, but Russia who decides for our float. Thank you so much. Yeah. Don't get yourself in trouble, word. Thank you. Bye, everyone. My break is over. Thank you so much, sister. Thank you for coming. Edmond 237. Every time I see you, you know, it's barbecue popping up in my head, you know. Sally Kennock. China has only agreed that Russia should have talks with Ukraine. Mr. Tom, Moldova is Russian occupied territory. Well, I disagree with that. That's There was a huge fight between two parts of Moldova. Literally, they're gonna kill themselves. And Russians moved in 1994, I believe, 93 perhaps, something like that. And they totally just stood between the both sides and they stopped the fighting. The situation was pretty bad. So other countries, yes, but Moldova, I disagree. Okay, looks like I'm down to Chris. Hello from Oklahoma, USA. Chris, I'm just about to finish. It's almost 1 a.m. here. Ah, guys, I hope that it's gonna stop in Ukraine. I just hope that it's going to stop. Lorna and Mommy, I see that you posted a link for pinball preparedness. Thank you so much. And also put a link for Sean, North Shore Preparedness. Sean is a great guy and his channel is also worth checking out. Thank you so much, guys, for... Michelle Silby, you said you're friendly with Finland. How about the Estonians? The Estonians, I mean, pretty friendly with Estonians as well. Estonians don't really like Russians on average, but they have a reason not to like us. But no hard feelings towards Estonians whatsoever. It used to be a part of one country, same as different culture, because they're more of a Northern Europeans, more like Finnish, like Swedes, but I mean, they're cool people. Reuters reports Ukraine's president and his cabinet walked the streets of Kiev today to show support for his people. That's a brave leader. Let me tell you, Mary, he's not a brave leader and he's not a leader whatsoever. He's got down his country into such a huge mess. He promised some things, and he did completely opposite as soon as he was elected. He was a great comedian and stand-up comedian and comic actor. Fantastic movies. I like them very much. He made me laugh like any none other comedian ever did. But you know what? He's a failure as a president. Does he need to be taken out of the office by force? No way. Ukrainians elected him officially and, legally, democratically. And that's the Ukrainians who need to re-elect him, okay? Not the Russians would have to come in and just, I don't know, get him fired or whatever. So he's not a brave man, and he should have done this way, way before. He could have prevented this whole freaking situation. And he did everything to instigate it, like to escalate it, not instigate. Julie F. Konstantin sent you the Twitter link. You are going to look for the video you wanted. Thank you so much. Okay, guys, I would like to end this stream with a prayer. Zelensky was elected, just like I said. Like it or not, I don't like the guy, but I totally accept the fact that he was officially elected, democratically elected. Let the Ukrainians deal with him in the way they want, but don't have Russia get involved, Anyway, dear God, please help us in this very difficult time of trouble, danger, war. I am praying for all people of Ukraine who are in danger right now, who are hurt, who are hungry, displaced, scared. I'm also praying for the Russians who are also in a dire situation because of this operation war. I'm praying for the ones who have been arrested today for showing their free will. I'm praying for the Finnish and the Swedes. So Russians will not touch them and will not declare war on them, and they can decide their own fate, whether they want to join any alliance or not. I pray for all the viewers here. Thanking them for joining, and I pray for all the Russians who understand what we have gotten into ourselves, but they cannot do anything at this point. And I'm also praying for the Russians who don't understand and support this thing by not really knowing what's going on. I wish everyone to be at peace with the neighbors, Russia to be at peace with Ukraine, or Ukraine with Russia, and all these NATO countries. I am asking for your forgiveness for all the sins, and I'm asking for, well, peace. Amen. Okay. Thank you guys. I will see you tomorrow. Please keep on tuning in for the video tonight. And oh, I forgot. I'm sorry. I'm also praying for Maria Z, who is in Kiev right now in a bomb shelter, and her family. And I'm also praying for all the people like her in the same situation, so they will see tomorrow's light in the morning, and they will come back to the houses, and there will be peace. Amen. I'll see you guys soon. Thank you for joining the stream.